So a thought had occurred to me in the thinking of ideas for VEDA that Tumblr ask lists are maybe a source of something to talk about, and I'd had a friend bring up the idea, so I figured that's what I'd do today. I had forgotten briefly until I went looking that Tumblr searches are fucking terrible. So I actually had to scroll back through my own posts to find the most recent one that had come across. Because trying to actually search for that is a massive waste of time. So this is the one that has come across most recently, and we'll see how I do in going through them. Also, one, it's easier for you to see what I'm answering this way, but my mic does not pick up the fish tank filter noise the way my camera does, so I think this means that the audio will be better for you and less irritating for me to listen to and sort through, because I can hear the filter noise behind me while I'm editing as well. Anyway, Moon, what is your astrological sign? I'm a Virgo. Gingerbread, your moral alignment. As in, like, my D&D alignment. I have a hard time with that. Because I am... the different ways I would categorize that end up a little fractured. Somewhere between lawful neutral and neutral good, I think. Um, in some sort of cloud or strip that cuts out the possibility of lawful good, because no, not quite. Um, but also not exactly true neutral. So there's this little zone between the two of those that is most likely me. That's a, the answer to that leads to a lot of complicated trying to parse what those terms mean and why. Um, Birdseed, family or friends? Friends. Um, Not that I have much family left, but no, friends. Sexual orientation, ace, asexual. Poor milk sounds disgusting, and I don't have a regular sleep schedule. I wake up when my body decides that it wants to be awake, or my brain is being asshole while I'm asleep, so I am suddenly awake. And I fall asleep when my brain and body finally cooperate in the me being unconscious again. So that there is no good answer to that. Gender identity, gender queer, non-binary. Favorite time of year and why? Since I react so badly to the sun, now swimming is the only physical activity I like. So there is a conflict of interest, but I don't live somewhere where I can swim anyway. I am too far away from the ocean to have that be useful, and I either break out in a rash from something that lives in the water or have to contend with boats, which is not safe. So, ignoring the swimming season, which is remarkably short in Maine, I prefer the times of year when the bugs are dead. colder weather kills or puts into dormancy in one way or another the bugs. There is less sun to burn me because I burn in the shade rather quickly. Like, I classify myself as a vampire for a reason. Sun, bad, at least for my skin. I actually like the dark. I am more productive at night. So seasonal affective is kind of flip-flopped for me versus other people, I think. Um, there's also because I am profoundly sensitive to smells, and those are also dampened by cold, it's easier on my nose. Now, there's lots of problems with winter, safety-wise, including the name of the question, snow, but there are a lot of practical reasons that make me like the cooler months. I also overheat and overexert very easily, so hot and humid are both bad. Also, I can't breathe soup, so humid is just no. Most enjoyable hobbies: gaming, various forms of gaming. What am I talented at? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that I am. The one thing that I was reliably good at, school stuff, as a side effect to the treatment for my first cancer, and I actually went to a psychologist to get tested for learning disabilities because I was starting to have some significant problems, specifically with quantitative reasoning. There's which interfered with my original plans for my master's. Um, I'm not as good at the one thing that I used to be good at. So I don't have a good question. I don't have a good answer to that question. I also don't do a whole lot generally. I do actually use my editorial skills for other people. People in friends in who are in college or were in college or are applying to new ones have me read their stuff for them. So I have some passive ongoing use of my editorial eye, which isn't something I can shut off even when I want to. So maybe that. I'm a good proofreader and copy editor, I think. It, that that's hard for me to answer. What stories remind you of your childhood? Stories isn't like fairy tales or things you read or were exposed to when you're little. Because it's not asking me about stories from my childhood, as in, like, I did this when I was this age kind of thing. Um, well, I first read The Hobbit when I was 8. Does that count? Like, I read it aloud to my mom for their anniversary when I was 8. So, maybe The Hobbit? Where do I feel at peace? In the water? I don't feel at peace much. What is my emotional flaw? Considering I have both anxiety and depression, I think those count. Those are flaws. What makes me nervous? That's my anxiety. I don't have a whole lot of say over that. What do I love and cherish? Um, I'm not sure how specific or general to be with that. Like, gaming does actually sit in a very important place for me because it's both something that I enjoy, but it's also a way of socializing and engaging with people that I like in a way that I don't get to do nearly as often as I would like. Um, so it's about more than just, oh, I get to disengage from reality for a while, which on its own isn't so bad, but as a group activity with people you like or love, even, it, other than that, things would be worse without music. I don't necessarily listen to it intentionally and attentively as often as I used to, but furry little demon things that may or may not be hogging the bed now that I've gotten back out of it. Um, what sounds are your favorite or calm you the most? I'm really sensitive to sounds too. Like, if I don't have control over it, or if it's loud just anyway. So, but I also don't sleep well without something. So, probably the music that I fall asleep to. It's, I don't know that they're my favorite because I pick something that's enjoyable, but something that won't grab my attention and distract me from trying to distract enough of my brain for long enough to be able to fall the fuck asleep. That music is there to distract a portion of my brain so that it can't harass me. Um, otherwise, um, hmm, I'm not sure. There's lots of sounds that go along with music that can be nice, but they're not universally so. I also, if you haven't noticed, have a profound tendency to overthink things, which makes even questions that are supposed to be simple not for me. Um, what is a food you could eat every day? Egg rolls? I really like egg rolls. Um, sure, I'll go with egg rolls. Do I get jealous easily? I don't think so. I don't think so. Mushroom. List unique things you like about yourself. Do things that amuse me count? Like, I find it funny, not always in a ha ha way, but funny that I'm a medical outlier in almost every way. Like, my body is at that point where it has tried and failed to kill me, so now it's just trying to piss me off by being extraordinarily weird. Um, and, if there's going to be something wrong with me, honestly, it makes it a little less bad to deal with, like, emotionally and just mentally, if it's something unusual rather than a common ailment. Just probably because I'm a science nerd, and that makes it at least interesting to me instead of just a burden. If it's gonna suck no matter what, at least make it interesting, but that still doesn't really count as liking it.